Hi, I'm Phoebe McDowell and welcome to another episode of Dear Dermatologist, where we answer your most common skincare questions. I am joined here today by consultant dermatologist Anjali Mahto, and we are talking the most unsexy of things, ingrown hairs. So what actually causes ingrown hairs?
So in men in particular, repetitive shaving and cutting of facial hair and curling of hair inwards, particularly as it gets longer, can all contribute to ingrown hairs forming.
And so what's actually happening in the skin?
So it can be a couple of things. So firstly, it could be the hair itself that's slightly curling inwards, causing irritation. The second thing it could be is actually pure irritation of actually shaving the skin, the razor blade being dragged across the skin, irritating the hair follicles, creating something called folliculitis.
Okay, so how on earth do we tackle it?
So a couple of things. I mean, the first thing that I think is quite important is if you're shaving regularly, you do need to make sure that you're using some kind of exfoliating product in your routine. This is mainly to prevent the buildup of dead skin cells on the surface of the skin. So using things like moisturizers or cleansers or maybe even toners that have got a little bit of maybe salicylic acid in them to help remove and exfoliate that upper layer of skin cells. The second thing that you can do is make sure that before you actually come to shaving, the hair is soft. So thinking about shaving after a hot shower, or alternatively, maybe using a hot cloth or compress to put onto the skin itself to soften the facial hair. The third thing is making sure that your razor blade is incredibly sharp. You do need to change these and change these regularly. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to drag the skin, and that in itself can cause irritation. And then the final thing is making sure that you're putting on some kind of moisturizer afterwards to seal or lock in moisture in the skin after you have carried that shaving process out.
And you've got some products here. Talk me through the brands and why they're great for ingrown hairs.
Yeah, so using a cleanser, for example, like the Cerave SA Smoothing Cleanser, it's got salicylic acid in it. Salicylic acid is a beta-hydroxy acid. It's a very good chemical exfoliator. So it's going to stop that buildup of dead skin cells. So this could be a good option to wash your face with morning and evening.
And should people be using that before shaving or just after?
So what you want to do with something like this is actually make it part of your regular routine. So you're using it before you shave, but not just before you shave. You probably want to be using an exfoliator as a regular part on a daily basis, potentially even morning and evening. It's useful to lock in the moisture after the shaving process has taken place. So the Kiehl's Ultrafacial Oil-Free is actually a very good option that people can think about using. Now, other than that, there are other ingredients that we can look at or other formats of products that we can use. So if you find, for example, that you don't want to use an exfoliating cleanser morning and evening, that's not your preferred option, using a toner maybe a few times a week, again, to remove that buildup of dead skin cells, so something like the Medicate Press and Glow could be a good option. Moisturizers that contain urea can also help break down any sort of dead skin surface cells, but also hydrate the skin adequately as well. So all of these essentially function to stop hair curling inwards, reduce irritation, but also lock in moisture and hydrate the skin.
And are there any ingredients that people should totally avoid?
I wouldn't say there's anything you necessarily need to avoid, but what you need to be careful of is overly stripping the skin. The blade itself is also going to irritate the skin, and then if you're using very, very strong actives immediately afterwards, you might find that the skin feels a bit sensitive.
And I have to ask, should people start trying to tackle ingrown hairs with tweezers themselves like we see on Instagram and TikTok?
It's not the best of ideas. The problem is that if you stop manipulating or trying to do some kind of intervention at home, squeezing it, sticking a needle in it, whatever it might be to get it out, you're much more likely to create scarring of the skin and damage the surface of the skin. So what you're better off trying to do, it's a bit slower, it's not instant gratification, but gentle exfoliation over time is just going to reduce that buildup of dead skin cells on the skin surface.
For anybody who shaves any hair on their body, is there a different tack or same process?
The idea is still the same. What you're trying to do is make sure the skin is adequately exfoliated and the hair is soft before you go. If it's something like your legs, for example, using something like the Murad clarifying body spray could be an alternative. So after you've shaved, you may want to just spray with that afterwards, just to make sure that you've removed any bacteria, any build-up of dead skin cells.
Charlie, I hope that answers your question. Thank you to everyone else for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sunday Times Beauty YouTube channel, and we'll see you again next week. In addition to these products, we'll put links to all other products Anjali recommends in the description below.